My name is Asim Johnson. I'm a healthcare advocate for the Healthcare Education Project, which is a labor management collaboration of 1199 SEIU, the Service Employers International Union, and the Greater New York Hospital Association. I'm protecting my circle by being vaccinated. I decided to get vaccinated kind of late in the game, actually, in October of last year. Honestly, I was very hesitant. I just felt like, I'm healthy, I'm young. Maybe I'll be okay to deal with this. I was able to get through the first two variants, no problem. So I was kind of like, we'll see how it works out. Continue to roll the dice. Um, so a family member of mine who's a few years younger than me, we both are actually asthmatic, um, which was something that I knew if you had pre-existing conditions that you had a higher risk of contracting the virus, but he was 21 years old, and he died from COVID in his sleep. His girlfriend found him the next morning unresponsive. This was down in Alabama, and hearing about it from family members who called me and told me what happened, and it was really just like he was sick Saturday morning, was found unresponsive Sunday, and declared deceased that afternoon. And it really just hit home for me. It was like, wow, like this. You hear the stories of other people and families who have, dealt with it and, lost loved ones. But when it's really like your own family and you look at a situation like that, and I'm like, that could have been me, that's really what changed my mind. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. But at that point, that's when I really realized, like, I have to be responsible, not just for myself, but, for my loved ones. I want to be here for a long time. And I was just like, I can't continue to roll the dice like this. This pandemic is big and it's taking any and every one. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I was protected. I would just strongly encourage folks to get the vaccine. If you're still a bit hesitant or not clear on the information, the science is out here. The data is available. And especially for folks as people of color, I always think about what Malcolm X said that the best way to hide the information from a Negro is in a book, right? He said that in the 60s. Now, fast forward 2022, we have a plethora of knowledge right in the palm of our hands. I would encourage folks to use Google, right? Like, do your research, do your homework. Um, Opportunities where you have to talk to folks who are vaccinated, hear from their experiences, understand their stories, and you'll see that a lot of people who you may feel like shouldn't have been vaccinated, or maybe are getting it too much into the conspiracy. They're still here, they're alive, and they're well, right? And they're able to share their stories when there are so many that we've lost, millions that we've lost already in this country, who are no longer here to share their story. It's been hit or miss. Well, I'll say in the beginning, it was kind of hit or miss. You had certain folks that are like, yeah, we got to get this vaccine. It's important. But then I had other family members just like, they're trying to use black folks as another guinea pig for some type of scientific experiment. This is no different than Tuskegee, right? Um, but for my family, with the passing of my cousin, I think for everyone that was kind of a sobering moment, because you have older folks in my family who, they have compromised immune systems, and hearing what happened to him, it's like, wow, that could be me. And for the younger generations, cousins of mine, younger, and even myself, it was just like, I don't want that to be me. Um, so yeah, it was definitely hit or miss in the beginning. A lot of misinformation that was also being given out at the time was also very challenging. But the more clarity we've gotten, the more information that's been provided, accurate information that's been provided, I think has been very beneficial for my family. Yeah, with everything, right? You got those three type of people. You got the ones who are all in. I'm ready to go. gung ho. You got those who are kind of on the fence. We'll see what happens, and you got those who are just like, hell no, it's just never going to happen. Um, and for those family members, I'm not going to say I understand, but I respect your choice. And I just kind of leave it that. I respect your choice. It's your decision ultimately. Yeah, personally for me, I still feel the need to wear the mask. When I'm in bigger group settings, just because with this pandemic, we don't know who's vaccinated and who's not vaccinated. It's not one of those things like everyone's wearing a sticker, right? Know your status type of thing. So I just feel like if I'm in large groups, people 5 or more, I just feel personally more comfortable with a mask on. Um, I still try to, as best as I can, adhere to the social distancing, even in smaller spaces. I always carry my hand sanitizer, but I was like that actually even before the pandemic, just like, ugh. um, so yeah, those are things that I will still continue to practice and be mindful of going forward, and I would encourage others to as well. Just that it's very important once again to do your homework. If you are hesitant or you feel like you don't have enough information, the information is there. Um, the only way for us to get to the other side of this pandemic, even though I understand that the mandates have been lifted, this is going to become a part of our lives, very similar to the influenza. So I would just encourage everyone to be vaccinated, have these conversations, ask courageous questions to others who may be unvaccinated or feeling a bit hesitant, and let's all as a community get to the better side of this. Well, from a work perspective, so with my work, essentially it's the community arm for the union. So sharing the same message as a union with community-based organizations, religious institutions to build out a bigger base. Um, the union that I represent, that I work for and represent, are hospital, nursing home, and home care workers. These are what have been now themed as your essential workers, our frontline, our champions, right? Um, these folks have sacrificed so much during this pandemic to ensure that our loved ones were taken care of, and they put their own lives and even their families at risk, right? Because you got to think when they get off of work, they got to come home. A lot of these folks have children and other relatives that they may stay with, but they felt the need to be vaccinated. They felt the need to get up every single day and fight for us. So I would just encourage folks, when we talk about our healthcare workers, and when you want to characterize them as heroes, let's really acknowledge and celebrate the sacrifices that made for us over the past now 2 years going through this pandemic, and even more of a reason why I encourage everyone to be vaccinated, because these are folks that look just like us, who live in our communities, who get up, put their pants on one leg at a time, and go out and do a job that majority of us don't want to do, right? Going inside these hospitals, inside these nursing homes, inside of these homes of residents who are very sick. And I just encourage everyone to acknowledge these folks. Let's celebrate their hard work, but to really celebrate it is to help them and help ourselves by being vaccinated.